Staff Sergeant Maya Chen crouched behind the concrete barrier, her breathing steady despite the chaos erupting around her. The sounds of distant gunfire echoed across the valley below, punctuated by the occasional explosion that sent tremors through the abandoned observation post. Her spotter, Corporal James Rodriguez, pressed himself against the wall beside her, his binoculars trained on the enemy positions nearly 3 miles away. "Target acquired," Rodriguez whispered into his radio. "High-value asset confirmed in the compound. Permission to engage?" The radio crackled with static before Colonel Sarah Mitchell's voice came through, clear and authoritative. "Negative. Hold position. We need confirmation on civilian status in the area." Maya's jaw tightened. She had been watching the same target through her scope for the past 40 minutes. The man in the distinctive red beret was their primary objective, a terrorist leader responsible for coordinating attacks across the region. Every minute they waited gave him another chance to escape. Maya Chen had not always been a sniper. 2 years ago, she was just another infantry soldier trying to prove herself in a male-dominated unit. Standing barely 5 feet 4 inches tall, with a slight build that made her look younger than her 26 years, she had faced constant skepticism from her peers. Some questioned whether she had the physical strength for combat operations. Others doubted her mental toughness when the situation got difficult. The transformation began during a training exercise in Nevada. Maya's unit was participating in a large-scale combat simulation when their designated marksman was injured in a vehicle accident. The commanding officer needed a replacement immediately, and Maya volunteered despite having no formal sniper training beyond basic marksmanship. "You sure about this, Chen?" First Sergeant Williams had asked, his expression doubtful. "This isn't like shooting at paper targets on the range?" Maya had simply nodded. She had grown up hunting with her father in the mountains of Colorado, learning to track elk through difficult terrain and make precise shots at long distances. Her natural ability with a rifle had always set her apart, but she had never considered it could become her military specialty. During that exercise, Maya made 3 successful hits at distances over 800 meters, each shot eliminating a high-priority target that had been causing problems for advancing infantry units. Her accuracy was remarkable, but what impressed observers more was her patience and tactical thinking. While other soldiers rushed their shots, Maya waited for the perfect moment, accounting for wind, elevation, and target movement patterns. Word of her performance reached higher command levels, and within 6 months, Maya found herself at the Army Sniper School at Fort Benning, Georgia. The course was grueling, designed to eliminate all but the most dedicated and skilled candidates. Out of 37 students who began the program, only 14 graduated. Maya was one of only 2 women to complete the training successfully. The instructors pushed every student to their physical and mental limits. Days began before dawn with physical training that left many candidates exhausted before the real training even started. They learned advanced ballistics, wind reading, camouflage and concealment, observation techniques, and the psychological aspects of precision shooting. Students who could not maintain the required standards were removed from the program immediately. Maya excelled in every area. Her small size, which had been seen as a disadvantage in regular infantry units, became an asset in sniper training. She could move through terrain undetected more easily than larger soldiers, and her natural stillness made her nearly invisible when properly positioned. Her mathematical background helped her quickly master ballistic calculations that other students struggled with. But the greatest challenge was not technical or physical. It was learning to make life-and-death decisions under extreme pressure. During one training scenario, Maya was required to observe a simulated hostage situation for 8 hours, waiting for the perfect moment to take a shot that would save innocent lives. The instructors deliberately created distractions and pressure, simulating the stress of real combat operations. "Remember," her primary instructor, Master Sergeant Thompson, had told her, "a sniper's greatest weapon is not the rifle, it's patience and judgment. Anyone can learn to shoot accurately. Not everyone can learn to wait for the right moment and make the right decision when lives depend on it. Maya proved she had both skills. She graduated second in her class, earning the respect of instructors who had initially questioned whether she belonged in the program. Her final evaluation noted her exceptional ability to remain calm under pressure and make accurate shots in challenging conditions. Now, 18 months later, Maya found herself in Afghanistan as part of a specialized reconnaissance team. Her reputation had grown with each successful mission. She had made confirmed kills at distances that impressed even veteran snipers. But she was still fighting to prove herself to some officers who believed that certain roles should remain closed to women. Colonel Mitchell was not one of those officers. The colonel had specifically requested Maya for this mission after reviewing her service record. The target they were hunting had evaded capture for months, moving between safe houses and appearing only briefly before disappearing again. Intelligence suggested he would be meeting with local contacts at this location, but the window of opportunity would be small. "Chen," the colonel had briefed her 3 days earlier, "this individual has been responsible for planning attacks that killed dozens of coalition forces and hundreds of civilians. He's smart, careful, and extremely dangerous. We need someone who can make a difficult shot if the opportunity presents itself." Maya had studied the target location extensively. The compound was situated on a hilltop approximately 2 miles and 800 meters from their observation post. The distance was at the extreme range of her rifle's effective capabilities, but not beyond them. Weather conditions would be critical. Wind patterns in the valley were unpredictable, changing direction and intensity throughout the day. "The shot is possible," Maya had reported during the mission planning session, "but I'll need perfect conditions and confirmed identification of the target." Rodriguez had been assigned as her spotter for the operation. He was experienced and skilled, with 3 deployments behind him. Initially, he had been skeptical about working with Maya, having heard rumors but never seen her capabilities firsthand. That skepticism disappeared during their first training session together. "Jesus," Rodriguez had muttered after watching Maya hit targets at distances he considered nearly impossible. The stories weren't exaggerated. Now, positioned in their hide site, Maya and Rodriguez worked together with the precision that came from weeks of training. Rodriguez handled target identification and range calculations, while Maya focused on maintaining sight picture and accounting for environmental factors. The target compound buzzed with activity. Through her scope, Maya could see approximately 15 individuals moving between buildings. Most appeared to be local militia, armed with assault rifles and wearing civilian clothing. The challenge was identifying their primary target among the crowd and ensuring no civilians would be endangered by the shot. "Movement in the main building," Rodriguez reported quietly. 3 individuals exiting the north side. One matches the target description. Maya shifted her scope to follow the group. The man in the center wore the distinctive red beret that marked him as their objective. He moved confidently, clearly comfortable in this environment. Maya could see he was speaking to the others, gesturing toward the valley below. "Range to target?" Maya asked softly. Rodriguez made quick calculations, factoring in elevation changes and the precise distance measurements they had established. 4,827 meters, wind variable currently from the southwest at 8 to 12 miles per hour. Maya made minute adjustments to her scope, compensating for the extreme range. At nearly 3 miles, bullet drop would be substantial, and wind drift could push her shot off target by several feet. She had made successful shots at similar distances during training, but never under operational conditions with such high stakes. The radio crackled again. "Overwatch, this is Command. Status report." "Target identified and in sight," Rodriguez responded. "Requesting permission to engage." There was a long pause. Maya could imagine the discussion taking place at the command post. Intelligence officers would be confirming target identification, while operational commanders weighed the risks and benefits of taking the shot. Political considerations always complicated these decisions, especially when the range was so extreme that missing could have serious consequences. Overwatch, maintain observation. Do not engage without explicit authorization. Maya felt her frustration building but kept her emotions controlled. She understood the caution. A missed shot at this distance would immediately reveal their position and could endanger the entire operation. However, opportunities like this were rare, and their target was not known for staying in one place for long. Through her scope, Maya watched the target continue his meeting. He appeared relaxed, unaware that he was being observed from such a distance. She could see details of his face clearly despite the range, a testament to the quality of her optics. He was younger than she had expected, probably in his early 30s, but intelligence reports confirmed his responsibility for numerous attacks. "He's moving toward the vehicle," Rodriguez warned. "We may be losing the opportunity." Maya could see a truck parked near the compound entrance. If the target reached it and drove away, they might not get another chance for weeks or months. She made final adjustments to her scope and settled into her shooting position. Her breathing slowed to a deliberate rhythm. Maya had learned to control her heart rate and breathing patterns to minimize their effect on accuracy. At extreme ranges, even the slight movement caused by a heartbeat could affect shot placement. She found her natural respiratory pause, the moment between exhaling and inhaling when her body was most still. The target stopped near the truck, continuing his conversation with the other men. Maya could see him clearly in her crosshairs, but she maintained her discipline and waited for authorization. Professional snipers never took unauthorized shots, regardless of the tactical situation. "Command, this is Overwatch. Target is preparing to depart. Request immediate authorization to engage." The radio remained silent for what felt like minutes, but was probably only seconds. Maya could see the target beginning to move toward the truck door. In a few moments, he would be inside the vehicle and driving away. "Target is moving to vehicle," Rodriguez reported urgently. "Losing opportunity." Finally, the radio crackled to life. "Overwatch, this is Colonel Mitchell. You are authorized to engage target when ready." Maya felt a surge of adrenaline but controlled it immediately. This was the moment she had trained for throughout her military career. Everything she had learned, every hour of practice, every challenge she had overcome, led to this single shot. She steadied her breathing and settled deeper into her shooting position. The target was now standing beside the truck, still talking to his companions. Maya placed the crosshairs on his center mass, accounting for the bullet drop and wind drift calculations Rodriguez had provided. "Wind holding steady from the southwest at 10 miles per hour, Rodriguez whispered. "Range confirmed at 4,827 meters. Maya made final scope adjustments and found her shooting position. Her finger moved to the trigger, applying steady pressure while maintaining perfect sight alignment. The world around her seemed to fade away until nothing existed except her, the rifle, and the target nearly 3 miles away. She controlled her breathing, waiting for the perfect moment between heartbeats when her body would be completely still. The target remained stationary beside the truck, presenting a clear shot. Maya began her trigger press, increasing pressure smoothly and steadily. At the last second, the target moved, stepping behind one of his companions. Maya immediately relaxed her trigger finger, maintaining her sight picture while waiting for another opportunity. Professional snipers never rushed shots or fired when the situation was not perfect. "Target obscured," she reported quietly. Rodriguez continued his observation. "Still movement around the vehicle. Target should reappear momentarily." Maya remained in position, controlling her breathing and maintaining her concentration. The physical demands of holding a precise shooting position for extended periods were significant, but she had trained extensively to build the necessary endurance and stability. The target emerged from behind his companion, moving toward the truck door. This would likely be their final opportunity before he departed the area. Maya reacquired her sight picture and began her shooting sequence again. Her breathing slowed to the deliberate rhythm that had become second nature during months of training. She found her natural respiratory pause and began applying pressure to the trigger. The crosshairs remained steady on target, despite the extreme range. Just as Maya was about to fire, the radio crackled with an urgent transmission. "Overwatch, this is command. Hold fire immediately. Civilian vehicle approaching target location from the north." Maya immediately relaxed her trigger finger and shifted her scope to scan for the approaching vehicle. Through the optics, she could see a small sedan moving toward the compound entrance. The vehicle appeared to be civilian, with no obvious military markings or tactical equipment. "Civilian vehicle confirmed," Rodriguez reported. "Appears to be a family sedan with multiple occupants." The target was now at the truck door, preparing to enter the vehicle. In moments, he would be gone, and this opportunity would be lost. But Maya maintained her discipline, understanding that civilian safety always took priority over tactical objectives. The civilian vehicle entered the compound, and Maya could see women and children exiting from it. The target paused his departure, apparently greeting the new arrivals. Maya realized this might actually work to their advantage, keeping the target in place longer and potentially providing a clearer shot once the civilians moved to safety. "Civilians moving toward the main building," Rodriguez observed. "Target remaining by vehicle but engaging with civilian group." Maya maintained her position, watching the situation develop. The target appeared to know the civilian arrivals, embracing some of them in what looked like family greetings. She could see children among the group, which reinforced the importance of waiting for a clear shot that would not endanger innocent lives. The radio remained active with updates from various observation posts around the valley. Other team members were monitoring different aspects of the situation, ensuring that no additional threats emerged, while Maya maintained her focus on the primary target. "Command, this is Overwatch. Civilians appear to be family members of someone in the compound. Target is engaged in social interaction but remains near departure vehicle." Colonel Mitchell's voice came back immediately. "Understood, Overwatch. Continue observation. You are cleared to engage when civilians are clear and target is isolated." Maya settled in for what might be an extended wait. Professional snipers understood that patience was often the most important skill in their arsenal. Rushing shots or taking unnecessary risks compromised mission success and endangered team members. Through her scope, Maya continued observing the target's interaction with the civilian group. She could see him speaking animatedly with what appeared to be family members, including elderly relatives and young children. The scene looked almost normal, making it difficult to reconcile with intelligence reports about his terrorist activities. Rodriguez maintained his own observation, watching for changes in the tactical situation that might affect their mission. Other armed individuals in the compound appeared relaxed, apparently comfortable with the civilian presence and unaware of the observation team positioned nearly 3 miles away. "Target appears to be concluding his meeting with the civilians," Rodriguez reported quietly. "They're moving toward the main building, and he's returning attention to his departure preparations." Maya reacquired her sight picture on the target, who was now standing alone beside his vehicle. The civilian group had moved safely into the compound buildings, eliminating the risk of collateral damage. This was likely their best opportunity. "Civilians clear," Maya confirmed. "Target isolated and stationary beside vehicle." The radio crackled with final authorization. "Overwatch, you are cleared to engage target. Take the shot when ready." Maya settled into her final shooting position, controlling her breathing and heart rate as she had been trained. The target remained stationary, apparently checking something in his vehicle. Maya placed her crosshairs precisely on his center mass, accounting for all environmental factors. She began her trigger press, applying steady pressure while maintaining perfect sight alignment. The world narrowed to just her scope picture, and the target nearly 3 miles away. Everything she had trained for led to this single moment. Maya found her respiratory pause and continued her trigger press. The target remained perfectly positioned, unaware of the precision rifle aimed at him from such an extreme distance. Her finger completed the trigger press with smooth, steady pressure. At the last possible moment, just as the firing pin was about to strike the primer, the target suddenly moved again, this time stepping completely behind his vehicle. Maya immediately stopped her trigger press, maintaining her position but holding fire. "Target moved behind vehicle," she reported with professional calm, despite the frustration of having her shot interrupted twice. Rodriguez continued his observation. "He appears to be loading something into the truck. Should reappear on the other side momentarily." Maya maintained her shooting position, ready to engage the instant a clear shot became available. The physical and mental demands of maintaining such precise readiness for extended periods were enormous. But her training had prepared her for exactly this kind of situation. The wait continued, with Maya poised to take what might be the most important shot of her military career. The target emerged from behind the truck, but now he was moving more quickly, his casual demeanor replaced by what appeared to be urgency. Maya could see him speaking rapidly into a radio or phone, his body language suggesting he had received some kind of alert or new information. "Target appears agitated," Rodriguez observed through his spotting scope. "Possible communication from outside sources." Maya maintained her sight picture, tracking the target's movements while waiting for him to stop in a position that would allow for a clear shot. Her finger remained on the trigger, ready to complete her shot sequence the moment the opportunity presented itself. Through her earpiece, Maya could hear radio chatter from other observation posts around the valley. Intelligence teams were monitoring enemy communications, trying to determine if their presence had been detected or if some other factor was causing the target's apparent urgency. "Overwatch, this is intelligence. We're picking up increased radio traffic from the target location. Unknown if they're aware of your position, but recommend expedited engagement if opportunity arises." Colonel Mitchell's voice came through immediately after. "Overwatch, confirm you understand. Take the shot as soon as you have a clear opportunity." Maya keyed her radio briefly to acknowledge the order, then returned her full attention to the target. He had stopped beside the truck again, but was partially obscured by the vehicle's frame. She could see portions of his torso, but not enough for a confident shot at this extreme range. The mathematical precision required for a shot at nearly 3 miles was staggering. Maya's bullet would travel for approximately 7 seconds before reaching the target, falling nearly 40 feet due to gravity and potentially drifting several feet due to wind conditions. At this distance, a margin of error measured in inches at the rifle could translate to a miss of several feet at the target. Rodriguez continued providing environmental updates. "Wind shifting slightly more to the west, now reading southwest at 12 to 15 miles per hour. Temperature stable at 48 degrees. Maya made minute adjustments to her scope, compensating for the changing wind conditions. The shot was at the absolute edge of her rifle's effective range, requiring perfect conditions and flawless execution. She had trained extensively for such scenarios, but had never attempted a shot of this distance under actual combat conditions. Through her scope, Maya could see the target continuing his hurried conversation on what appeared to be a satellite phone. His animated gestures suggested he was receiving instructions or coordinating some kind of time-sensitive operation. Whatever had prompted his urgency was escalating the situation. "Target appears to be coordinating with external parties," Maya reported, continuing to track for shot opportunity. The radio crackled with updates from the command post. "Overwatch. Intelligence indicates possible convoy movement in your sector within the next 15 minutes. Recommend immediate engagement to avoid compromise of your position." Maya felt the pressure building, but maintained her professional focus. Rushed shots at extreme range rarely succeeded, and a miss would immediately reveal their position to enemy forces in the area. However, she also understood that operational realities sometimes required taking calculated risks. Rodriguez shifted his observation, scanning the surrounding area for signs of approaching vehicles or other threats. No movement visible on approach routes, but maintaining watch for convoy activity. The target finished his phone conversation and returned his attention to loading equipment into his truck. Maya could see him more clearly now, standing beside the vehicle's rear compartment. This was the best shot opportunity she had been given so far. She settled deeper into her shooting position, controlling her breathing and heart rate through techniques drilled into her during months of training. At extreme ranges, even the slightest movement could cause a miss. Maya had learned to minimize every factor that could affect accuracy. Her scope's crosshairs remained steady on the target's center mass. Maya began her trigger press, applying smooth, consistent pressure while maintaining perfect sight alignment. The target remained stationary, focused on organizing equipment in his truck. "Wind steady at southwest 15 miles per hour, Rodriguez whispered. "Target stationary and clear." Maya continued her trigger press, finding her natural respiratory pause and maintaining absolute stillness. The target remained perfectly positioned, unaware of the precision rifle aimed at him from such an extreme distance. Just as Maya was about to complete her shot, an explosion erupted in the valley below, sending a column of smoke and debris into the air approximately 1 mile from the target compound. The blast was significant enough to shake the ground beneath Maya's position and cause the target to immediately take cover behind his vehicle. "IED detonation in the valley," Rodriguez reported, scanning through his scope to assess the situation. "Appears to be targeting a coalition patrol route." Maya maintained her position behind her rifle, but the target was now completely concealed behind his truck. Through her scope, she could see increased activity throughout the compound as armed individuals responded to the explosion. The tactical situation was rapidly becoming more complex. "Command, this is Overwatch. Large explosion in valley. Target has taken cover. Assessing situation for continued engagement opportunity." Colonel Mitchell's voice came back with evident urgency. "Understood, Overwatch. Intelligence indicates that explosion was likely coordinated by your target as a diversion. Maintain position and engage when possible. Enemy forces may be moving to your area." Maya realized they were now in a race against time. If the target had indeed coordinated the explosion as a diversion, he was likely planning to use the chaos to escape the area. Her window for engagement was rapidly closing, and their own security was becoming compromised. Rodriguez expanded his observation, watching for signs of enemy movement that might threaten their position. Multiple vehicles moving toward the explosion site from various directions, compound activity increasing significantly. Through her scope, Maya could see armed individuals moving quickly throughout the target compound. Some appeared to be preparing vehicles for departure, while others took up defensive positions around the perimeter. The target remained concealed behind his truck, but Maya could occasionally catch glimpses of him as he moved. The radio chatter increased dramatically as various observation posts reported movement throughout the valley. Intelligence teams were working to determine if their positions had been compromised or if the enemy activity was solely in response to the explosion. "Overwatch, this is Command. Multiple enemy units are mobilizing in your sector. Estimate you have approximately 10 minutes before your position may be compromised. Recommend immediate engagement if target becomes available." Maya understood the implications. If they were forced to abandon their position without completing their mission, this opportunity might not arise again. The target had evaded capture for months by being cautious and unpredictable. Missing this chance could mean he would disappear entirely. The target briefly emerged from behind his truck, but immediately moved toward the compound buildings where other armed individuals were gathered. Maya tracked him through her scope, but he was moving too quickly and erratically for a confident shot at such extreme range. "Target moving toward main building," Maya reported. "Movement too rapid for engagement at this distance." Rodriguez maintained his spotting duties while also watching for threats to their position. "Enemy vehicles departing compound in multiple directions. Target location becoming increasingly active." Maya could see the compound transforming from a quiet meeting location to a bustling center of activity. Vehicles were departing rapidly while armed personnel took up defensive positions. The target was somewhere among the confusion, but identifying and engaging him was becoming increasingly difficult. Through her earpiece, Maya could hear reports from other observation teams positioned around the valley. Enemy forces were responding to the explosion with coordinated movement, suggesting this was indeed a planned operation rather than an accidental detonation. "Command, this is Overwatch. Enemy activity consistent with coordinated operation. Target may be using explosion as cover for departure." Colonel Mitchell's response was immediate and direct. "Understood, Overwatch. Intelligence confirms target is likely coordinating broader operation. Engage immediately if opportunity arises. Your position is becoming untenable." Maya realized they were rapidly approaching the point where they would need to abandon their mission and extract to avoid capture. However, she maintained her focus on the target compound, watching for any opportunity to complete their objective. The target appeared briefly in an open area between buildings, but was surrounded by other individuals and moving quickly toward what appeared to be a command center. Maya tracked him through her scope, but could not achieve the clear, stationary shot required for success at this range. "Target visible but moving with group toward interior buildings," Maya reported. "No clear shot opportunity at this time." Rodriguez was dividing his attention between spotting for Maya and monitoring their security situation. "Multiple vehicle approaches from different directions. Estimate hostile forces will be in effective range of our position within 8 minutes. Maya felt the weight of the tactical situation pressing down on her. Everything she had trained for, everything she had worked to prove about her capabilities as a sniper, came down to this moment. But she also understood that professional soldiers never compromised safety for glory. Through her scope, Maya continued tracking movement in the target compound. The level of activity suggested a significant operation was underway, with the target likely playing a central coordination role. If they could eliminate him, it might disrupt whatever attack was being planned. The target emerged from a building carrying what appeared to be communications equipment. He moved quickly toward his truck, apparently preparing for immediate departure. Maya shifted her scope to track him, hoping for a stationary moment that would allow for engagement. "Target moving toward vehicle with equipment," Maya reported, preparing for possible departure. Rodriguez maintained his environmental observations while watching for approaching threats. "Wind conditions deteriorating, now variable at 15 to 20 miles per hour from multiple directions." The changing wind conditions made an already difficult shot even more challenging. At nearly 3 miles, wind drift was one of the most significant factors affecting accuracy. Variable winds made precise calculations nearly impossible. Maya watched the target load equipment into his truck, then moved toward the driver's door. This might be their final opportunity before he departed the area entirely. She settled into her shooting position, ready to take whatever shot might be available. "Target approaching vehicle for departure," Maya reported, requesting immediate authorization for any available shot. The radio response was immediate. "Overwatch, you are cleared to engage with any reasonable shot opportunity. Enemy forces closing on your position." Maya understood this meant she was authorized to attempt a shot even under less than optimal conditions. The tactical situation had degraded to the point where a lower probability shot was preferable to no shot at all. The target stopped beside his truck's driver door, speaking briefly with another individual. Maya placed her crosshairs on him, accounting for wind drift and bullet drop based on the best information available. The shot was extremely challenging, but not impossible. She began her trigger press, controlling her breathing despite the pressure of time constraints. The target remained stationary for several seconds, providing the opportunity Maya needed. She found her respiratory pause and continued applying pressure to the trigger. An automatic weapons burst erupted from somewhere in the compound, causing the target to immediately drop to the ground behind his vehicle. Maya relaxed her trigger finger, maintaining her position while reassessing the situation. "Weapons fire from compound," Rodriguez reported, "unknown if directed at our position or other target." Maya realized the gunfire might not have been aimed at them, but could have been a signal or response to some other development. Through her scope, she could see increased movement throughout the compound as individuals responded to the gunfire. The target remained concealed behind his vehicle, but Maya could see him moving along its length toward the rear. If he continued that movement pattern, he might emerge into a position where she could engage him. "Target moving along vehicle toward rear," Maya observed. "May present shot opportunity momentarily." Rodriguez continued monitoring their security while providing environmental updates. "Wind conditions stabilizing slightly, current reading southwest at 18 miles per hour." Maya made scope adjustments for the updated wind information, preparing for a shot if the target emerged from cover. She had to balance the mathematical precision required for extreme-range shooting with the tactical urgency of their degrading situation. Through her earpiece, Maya could hear radio updates indicating enemy forces were indeed moving toward their general area. Other observation teams were beginning extraction procedures, preparing to withdraw before their positions were overrun. "Overwatch, this is command. Enemy forces now within 5 minutes of your position. Recommend immediate engagement or extraction." Maya understood they were approaching the decision point. If the target did not present a clear shot opportunity within the next few minutes, they would be forced to abandon the mission and extract to avoid capture. The target suddenly emerged from behind his truck, but instead of standing still, he began running toward a different vehicle parked near the compound entrance. Maya tracked him through her scope, but the rapid movement made a precision shot nearly impossible at this extreme range. "Target running toward alternate vehicle," Maya reported. "Movement too rapid for engagement." Rodriguez watched the target's movement while maintaining security observation. "Appears to be heading for faster departure option. Maybe our final opportunity." Maya realized the target would likely be gone within moments, disappearing into the confusion of increased enemy activity throughout the valley. If she was going to take a shot, it would have to be during the brief moments when he stopped at the second vehicle. The target reached the alternate vehicle and paused to open the door. Maya immediately shifted her scope to acquire him, placing her crosshairs on his center mass while he was momentarily stationary. "Target stationary at secondary vehicle," Maya reported, already beginning her shooting sequence. She controlled her breathing and began her trigger press, knowing this might be their final opportunity. The target remained still for several seconds, providing the shot window Maya needed. But just as she was about to complete her trigger press, Rodriguez urgently whispered, "Enemy patrol approaching from the east, approximately 400 meters and closing rapidly." Maya realized they were about to be discovered. She had to choose between taking a difficult shot under pressure or abandoning the mission to ensure their survival. The target remained stationary at the vehicle, unaware of either the approaching threat or the rifle aimed at him from nearly 3 miles away. Maya made her decision. She completed her trigger press, sending the precision round across the valley toward its target nearly 3 miles away. The rifle's muzzle blast was significant, but she maintained her scope picture to observe the shot's impact. 7 seconds later, she watched through her scope as the target suddenly collapsed beside his vehicle. "Hit confirmed," Rodriguez whispered with amazement in his voice. "Target is down." Maya immediately began breaking down her rifle system, her movements quick and efficient, despite the magnitude of what had just occurred. The shot had traveled 4,827 meters through variable wind conditions and found its mark with lethal precision. But there was no time for celebration or reflection on the achievement. "Enemy patrol at 200 meters and closing," Rodriguez reported urgently while gathering his spotting equipment. "Multiple vehicles converging on our general area." Maya secured her rifle in its transport case with practiced speed. The entire breakdown and packing procedure took less than 90 seconds, a testament to countless hours of training. She could hear vehicle engines growing louder as enemy forces moved toward their position. The radio crackled with urgent transmissions. "Overwatch, this is command. Confirm target status and begin immediate extraction. Multiple enemy units converging on your sector." "Command, this is Overwatch," Maya responded while shouldering her equipment pack. "Target eliminated with single shot. Beginning extraction immediately." Rodriguez led the way as they moved quickly but carefully from their observation post. The abandoned building had provided excellent concealment for their mission, but now they needed to reach their extraction point without being detected by the numerous enemy patrols searching the area. Maya could hear shouting voices in the distance, suggesting that enemy forces had discovered something significant in the target compound. Whether they had found their leader's body or were simply responding to the increased activity, the area was becoming increasingly dangerous for the sniper team. They moved through the rocky terrain using routes they had memorized during their insertion. Maya and Rodriguez had spent 2 days reaching this position, moving only at night and remaining hidden during daylight hours. Their extraction would need to be much faster while avoiding the enemy search parties now flooding the area. "Movement to our south," Rodriguez whispered, pointing toward a group of armed individuals approximately 500 meters away. "Appears to be a search team moving toward higher ground." Maya could see the enemy patrol through her binoculars. They were moving systematically, checking possible sniper positions along the ridgeline. If Maya and Rodriguez continued their current route, they would likely encounter these searchers within the next 30 minutes. Rodriguez consulted his map and GPS unit, calculating an alternate route to their extraction point. "We can swing further east, but it will add approximately 2 kilometers to our movement and put us near known enemy supply routes." Maya considered their options. The longer route carried its own risks, but attempting to move through an area being actively searched by enemy forces was even more dangerous. They needed to prioritize reaching their extraction point safely over speed. "Take the eastern route," Maya decided. "Better to arrive late than not at all." They adjusted their movement direction, heading toward more difficult terrain that would provide better concealment, but require more time and effort to navigate. Maya could still hear vehicle engines and occasional gunfire from the direction of the target compound, indicating significant enemy activity in response to their successful shot. As they moved through the mountainous terrain, Maya reflected on the shot she had just made. At 4,127 meters, it was the longest confirmed kill in her military career and among the longest shots ever recorded by a military sniper. The mathematical precision required had been staggering, accounting for bullet drop of nearly 40 feet and wind drift that could have pushed the shot off target by several feet. But Maya felt no satisfaction or pride in the achievement. The man she had killed was responsible for planning attacks that murdered innocent civilians and coalition forces, but taking a human life was never something to celebrate. She had done her duty as a soldier, but the weight of that responsibility was something she would carry for the rest of her life. Rodriguez maintained point position as they navigated through rocky outcroppings and sparse vegetation. The terrain was challenging, requiring careful foot placement to avoid creating noise that might attract attention from enemy search parties. Both soldiers moved with the silent efficiency that came from extensive training in reconnaissance operations. "Command, this is Overwatch," Rodriguez radioed quietly. "Extraction in progress. Enemy search activity significant, but we are avoiding contact. Estimate arrival at extraction point in 90 minutes. Colonel Mitchell's response came back immediately. "Understood, Overwatch. Intelligence confirms target elimination has disrupted enemy communications significantly. Multiple operations appear to have been canceled or postponed. Outstanding work." Maya appreciated the colonel's recognition, but her focus remained on completing their extraction safely. The mission would not be truly successful until both team members reached friendly lines without compromise. Many military operations failed during the extraction phase due to overconfidence or relaxed security procedures. They moved steadily through increasingly difficult terrain, using natural features to mask their movement and avoid detection. Maya could see why this area was considered ideal for sniper operations. The elevated positions provided excellent observation of the valley below while offering multiple concealment options and escape routes. After 2 hours of careful movement, they reached a checkpoint where they could observe their extraction point through binoculars. The landing zone appeared clear, with no signs of enemy activity in the immediate area. Their extraction helicopter was scheduled to arrive in 30 minutes. "Extraction point appears secure," Rodriguez reported after thorough observation. "No enemy activity visible in the immediate area." Maya continued scanning the surrounding terrain for signs of ambush positions or hidden enemy forces. The successful completion of their primary mission might have prompted enemy forces to anticipate their extraction attempt and position forces accordingly. They moved to within 200 meters of the landing zone and established a final observation position. From here, they could provide security for the incoming helicopter while maintaining escape routes if the extraction was compromised. Maya set up her rifle again, ready to provide precision fire support if needed during the extraction. The radio crackled with an update from their extraction aircraft. "Overwatch, this is Falcon 2-7. Inbound to your location in 15 minutes. Confirm landing zone is secure." Rodriguez responded immediately. "Falcon 2-7, this is Overwatch. Landing zone appears secure, but enemy search activity continues in surrounding area. Request rapid extraction upon arrival." Maya could hear the helicopter approaching from the east, its engine noise growing steadily louder. The aircraft was flying low to avoid detection by enemy air defense systems, but would need to expose itself during the extraction process. This was always the most vulnerable part of any mission. "Falcon 2-7 visible from our position," Rodriguez reported. "Landing zone remains secure." The helicopter descended rapidly toward their position, its crew scanning for threats while preparing for immediate departure once the sniper team was aboard. Maya maintained her security watch until the aircraft touched down, then quickly gathered her equipment for boarding. They ran toward the helicopter under covering fire from the crew chief, who was monitoring the surrounding area for enemy activity. Maya threw her equipment into the aircraft and climbed aboard, followed immediately by Rodriguez. Within 30 seconds of touching down, the helicopter was airborne again, climbing rapidly away from the extraction point. "Overwatch personnel recovered successfully," the pilot radioed to command. "Departing the area immediately." Maya secured her equipment and settled into the aircraft's seating system, finally allowing herself to relax slightly now that they were safely extracted from the operational area. Through the helicopter's windows, she could see the valley below where her target had been eliminated by a single precision shot from nearly 3 miles away. The helicopter flight back to their forward operating base took 40 minutes, during which Maya and Rodriguez were debriefed by intelligence personnel via radio. Details of their observations and the successful engagement would be analyzed to determine the broader impact on enemy operations in the region. Upon landing at the base, Maya and Rodriguez were met by Colonel Mitchell and several other senior officers. The colonel's expression showed both relief at their safe return and satisfaction with the mission's successful completion. "Outstanding work, both of you," Colonel Mitchell said as they walked toward the debriefing facility. "Intelligence indicates your shot eliminated a high-value target who was coordinating attacks across 3 provinces. The impact on enemy operations has already been significant." Maya nodded acknowledgement, but remained focused on the professional aspects of the mission. The shot conditions were challenging but manageable. Rodriguez provided excellent spotting support throughout the engagement. The formal debriefing process took several hours, with Maya providing detailed information about environmental conditions, equipment performance, and the circumstances surrounding the successful engagement. Her account would be used to improve training procedures and equipment specifications for future long-range precision missions. During the debriefing, Maya learned more about the target's significance and the broader impact of his elimination. Intelligence reports indicated he had been planning coordinated attacks on civilian infrastructure and coalition bases throughout the region. His death had effectively disrupted an entire network of planned operations. The explosion in the valley was indeed a diversion, the intelligence officer explained. Your target was using it to cover the movement of weapons and personnel for upcoming attacks. By eliminating him when you did, you prevented what could have been devastating strikes against civilian and military targets. Maya understood the strategic importance of their mission, but her focus remained on the technical and professional aspects of the shot. At 4,127 meters, it represented the extreme edge of what was possible with current sniper rifles and ammunition. The environmental conditions had been challenging, requiring precise calculations and flawless execution. Rodriguez provided his own detailed account of the spotting procedures and environmental observations that had enabled the successful shot. His role had been critical to achieving accuracy at such extreme range, highlighting the importance of effective teamwork in precision shooting operations. The partnership between Chen and Rodriguez represents the highest standard of sniper team performance, Colonel Mitchell noted in her preliminary report. Their ability to operate effectively under extreme pressure while maintaining professional discipline was exemplary. Following the formal debriefing, Maya was informed that her shot had been recorded as the second longest confirmed kill in military history by a female sniper. However, she was more interested in the tactical lessons learned than in any records or recognition. What matters is that we prevented attacks against innocent people, Maya told Rodriguez later as they cleaned and maintained their equipment. The distance of the shot is just a technical detail. Rodriguez smiled at her response. You know, when I first heard I was being assigned to work with you, I had my doubts. I'd heard the stories about your shooting ability, but I wasn't sure how you'd perform under real combat pressure. Maya looked up from her rifle cleaning. And now? Now I know those stories were understatements, Rodriguez replied. That shot you made today was beyond anything I thought was possible. But more importantly, you maintained perfect discipline and professionalism throughout the entire operation. That's what makes the difference between a good shooter and an exceptional sniper. Over the following days, Maya returned to regular duties, while intelligence personnel continued analyzing the impact of their successful mission. Reports indicated that enemy communications had been significantly disrupted, and several planned attacks had been canceled or postponed indefinitely. Maya received official recognition for her achievement, but she was more satisfied by the knowledge that their mission had prevented harm to innocent civilians and coalition forces. The technical challenge of the shot had been significant, but the moral purpose behind it was what gave the achievement real meaning. 3 weeks later, Maya received word that she was being recommended for specialized assignment to an elite reconnaissance unit. Her demonstrated ability to operate effectively under extreme pressure and deliver precision results had impressed senior command personnel. The Army needs snipers who can handle the most challenging assignments, Colonel Mitchell explained during their final meeting. Your performance on this mission proved you belong in that category. Maya accepted the assignment, understanding it would bring new challenges and responsibilities. She had proven to herself and others that gender was irrelevant to effectiveness in combat operations. What mattered was training, skill, discipline, and the courage to perform when lives depended on precision. Rodriguez was also selected for the same elite unit, ensuring their effective partnership would continue. They had developed a level of tactical communication and trust that was rare in military operations and too valuable to break up. As Maya prepared for her new assignment, she reflected on the journey that had brought her to this point. From facing skepticism as a female soldier in infantry units to making one of the longest shots in military history, she had overcome every challenge through dedication and professional excellence. The shot from nearly 3 miles away had lasted only 7 seconds from trigger pull to impact. But the path to making that shot successfully had taken years of training, practice, and proving herself in a demanding profession. Maya understood that her real achievement was not the distance of the shot, but the culmination of everything she had learned and overcome to reach that moment. Maya packed her equipment for transfer to the new unit, knowing that greater challenges lay ahead. But she also knew she was ready for whatever missions might require the kind of precision and professionalism she had demonstrated on that hillside observation post. The colonel's words echoed in her mind as she prepared for the next chapter of her military career. Hold position, then take the shot when ready. Maya had proven she could do exactly that under the most demanding circumstances imaginable. Now she would carry that confidence and capability to even more challenging assignments where precision could mean the difference between mission success and failure. The successful elimination of the target from 4,127 meters had disrupted enemy operations across the entire region. Maya's single shot had prevented countless casualties and demonstrated the strategic impact that could be achieved by skilled personnel operating at the highest levels of professional competence. As Maya boarded the aircraft that would transport her to her new assignment, she carried with her the knowledge that she had proven herself capable of performing at the absolute pinnacle of her profession. The shot that had eliminated a dangerous enemy from nearly 3 miles away would be remembered as a remarkable achievement. But for Maya, it was simply the successful completion of a mission that protected innocent lives and served her country's interests. Maya Chen had answered the colonel's call to hold position and take the shot when ready. She had done both with a level of skill and professionalism that set new standards for precision shooting operations. Now she was ready for whatever challenges her continued service might bring.